Hello guys, and we're here today with another very interesting deck profile. We're here today with some Cosmos. This is pretty much the same deck that I gave before the ban list a couple weeks ago. Actually, it was more like a month ago actually when I last did Cosmos. And I honestly, even though we have one Dark Destroyer and one E-Telly, this deck is still feel is going to be one of the bigger decks this format. I'm thinking about making a video on what I think are going to be the best decks this format. So anyways, without further ado, I play BLS in my deck because, I mean, once you get off 2 tin can effects, you can summon BLS. So it's just really nice to have a monster that can either banish stuff, such as the Blue Eyes, get over cards like Dark Matter, or get over cards like Spirit Dragon or whatever. Or it can just attack twice, and that's just pretty nice. So definitely like the BLS in the deck, it just helps out overall. One Dark Destroyer, really his big effect is that he influenced the extra deck. I know I don't play number 38, I don't play any rank 8s in this deck, because just why bother? I only won one Forerunner, so I don't have access to Big Eye. I chose to play 2 Landwalkers instead. So you can make Big Eye, but hey, you can make number 39, so it helps with making OTKs, but it doesn't help with like getting over this monster. So advantages, disadvantages, and of course Landwalker is really nice because you can destroy the field spell, and then when one of your monsters were to be destroyed, and then yeah, or if they do destroy Kozmo Dark Destroyer, you can have something else be destroyed. So definitely like Landwalker a little bit more than Forerunner as far as its effect goes, but as far as its utility, I feel Forerunner wins that because if you can make Big Eye, that's actually a really strong play. Triple Slip Rider, because Slip Rider can make so many different things. He can make Pleiades, he can make... Oh my golly, I don't run Cyber Dragon Infinity. What am I thinking? What am I thinking here, guys? Somebody smack me. And I also need Nova. Oh my golly. No wonder I was having such a hard time putting together this extra deck. I don't think I really need both that good. So yeah, he can make a lot. He can make a lot of stuff. He can make he could make Utopia the Lightning, but why would you do it that way? He can make Pleiades, he can make Durandale. I like Durandale because while it doesn't negate a spell trap card, it does mess with its effect. So that's definitely something. And of course, being able to make Infinity is definitely very strong. And then Kozmo Dark Lady at 2, she's just really nice, being able to negate monster effects. If you can, honestly, she might even be better to have on the field than Dark Destroyer. Like, Dark Destroyer is a beat stick pretty much if he's on the field. I mean, if he's in the hand, he can be a really nasty threat because it's just like, oh, I'm just going to plop down a card and destroy a monster during your turn. But Kozmo Dark Lady, like, if you can get both this guy in hand and her on the field, it can be very nasty. It can be very nasty. 2 Wicked Witch, I feel that's pretty balanced. We don't want Good Witch, but Kozmo Wicked Witch is definitely very nice, has that just protect yourself. So if you really need to have some protection, she's there. Don't want her to get banished. We are playing Pot of Desires in the deck, so you want at least one of her. Triple Farm Girl, because Farm Girl searches. I really wish I could play 2, but I just don't want to run a 45 card deck. I feel this deck is really nice at 44 actually. Weird number, but nonetheless, Sword Trooper is probably one of the better ones, especially with Tin Can, because honestly, like, just being able to summon out all those Psychic type monsters, including Kozmo Dark Lady, is just so nice. Because you can just dump a whole bunch of your Psychic type monsters, and if you get your Sword Trooper, it's really nice. Once you get one Sword Trooper, it's just so nice. Especially if you have another Sword Trooper in the graveyard, because that means you can summon out another monster. And then you can overlay the other 2 to make Leviair. And then you can summon out one of your banished ones. So it's just really nice. Really nice, I love it. Strawman is Strawman, just being able to summon out your machines that are banished, or actually any Cosmo monster that is banished, but most likely your machines, and then be able to have them destroyed and stuff. So very, very strong, very useful for making offensive plays. And like if you're trying to actually go for making an Infinity, summon out this and then use its effect to banish to summon out another one. 2 Maxi is 2 Maxi, just more draw power. And Tin Can is Tin Can. Of course, you want to open up with this card as much as possible. And luckily, if you play not on auto chain order, so if you take auto chain order off, and if you play on always chain, you can E-Telly, use Kozmo Tin Can, and get off both of his effects during the end phase. Like before they had always chain, or before they had always chain, like you'd activate this and then Tin Can would get banished because the death port wouldn't give you time to activate it. Well, now you can activate it. Now you can do everything. So definitely very strong. Triple Allure of Darkness has no downside whatsoever in this deck. Let's count our darks real quickly. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We only run 9 darks. But it's pretty easy to get to them. Once you get to them, it's pretty nice. Unless you don't see Cosmotown. If you don't see Cosmotown, that's honestly pretty awful. But Allure of Darkness definitely helps out. And if you end up dropping your monsters, it depends on what else you have. If you have Call the Haunted, who cares if you drop a Forerunner or a Slip Rider or a Farm Girl? If you have Call the Haunted, you can just summon it back out. Instant Fusion, I'm debating whether or not this card is necessary in the deck. Because, the only useful thing is to summon out Wicked Witch, and her effect would be negated. So it helps you with making rank 4 plays. That's pretty much the best way to make a rank 4 play, and we're running a decent amount of rank 4s, actually. Because I just didn't know one else to run for rank 5s. But Instant Fusion, definitely very nice. And then we have Pot of Desires at 2 in the deck. Definitely decent. Honestly, it just feels weird playing Pot of Desires at 2. Because when I play it at 3, I like it a lot. Because I always tend to banish at least one Pot of Desires off of Desires. And if I don't the second one, it's like, alright. But if I see both, it just feels real. And so I always really want to banish Pot of Desires. And I don't care about activating 2, I care about banishing Pot of Desires. It sounds weird. It sounds weird. Like, I'm okay, if I run 3, I'm okay with activating 2. If I run 2, it doesn't make sense. Gold Sarc, this is just another deck that can run Gold Sarc. Just like Monarchs can run it. Gold Sarc just helps with getting any monster. Like, honestly, always banish a monster. Maybe Cosmotown if you don't have Cosmotown. But, like, BLS isn't really worth it. We don't play Twin Twister or Regeki in this deck. Probably should. But just always banish a monster because you can always get it back with either Strawman or Cosmotown. So those are the best things to do, especially so that way you don't banish your Dark Destroyers or anything else. And of course, if you banish these with Pot of Desires, it's nothing awful. It's probably the best card to banish with this deck. And then Emergency Teleport I won, like I said. And of course, like I was talking about, the whole play on Always Chain and No Chain Order. Cosmotown is of course really nice, like I've been talking about. You can add your banished Cosmo monsters from your banish zone to your hand, and you can reveal any number of Cosmo monsters in your hand and then shuffle them in the deck, draw an equal number of cards. And finally, if it is destroyed by a card effect, add 1 Cosmo card from your deck to your hand, including another copy of Cosmotown. Can't speak. And then, of course, Cosmojo. I actually really like Cosmojo. It allows us to get rid of a lot of nasty things because it doesn't target and it gets rid of cards in our graveyard. So I really like this card, and of course, being able to destroy your own monsters, especially if you have any of your machines out, is definitely very useful. I do not know about destroying Cosmo Landwalker. I'm pretty certain you can target Cosmo Landwalker, destroy it, and then destroy Cosmotown and still banish a card. That's at least how I'd rule it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was like, nope, if you use Landwalker's effect, you don't get a banish, which would be stupid, but I wouldn't be surprised. But anyways, being able to banish stuff, really nice, really great at interrupting your opponent's play, especially against Blue Eyes. Like, they make their Spirit Dragon, and then you flip this, and they're like, oh, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna summon out a Zero Eyes right now? It'll just get banished. Or you can just banish back row. Cold Hunted at 2, because it allows us to summon out our machines from the graveyard. So it can be a Pop a Monster, it can be a Pop Back Row, it can be a Trap Trick Shrapnel Nightmare. Utility. It can also be a Searcher. It can be a lot of things. A Searcher. This card just has so much utility in this deck, it's kind of stupid. And then of course, triple Solemns. I almost said Triple Solemn Strike, but Triple Solemns. Not playing the other one because, like I said, I felt really nice at playing 44. It's not too important if you don't see this card. Like, if you didn't want to play it, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't want to play the Solemns, because I mean, this deck definitely has enough stun power with just even with 1 Dark Destroyer and 2 Cosmo Ladies, and I'd probably put her up to 3 if I were to take one of these guys out. But definitely has enough stun power, but hey, it doesn't hurt whatsoever. If you can get Dark Destroyer, if you can get Cosmo Dark Lady, and then one of these, even better. And if you don't, but have this, definitely helps. So, tomato. And that's pretty much it for the main deck, and that's pretty much where you're going to be making a lot of your plays, because this deck isn't too big on using the extra deck, but it does have access to it. So let's go on the Norden, so we can make rank 4s, Utopia Beyond, so we can reduce all the attack to 0, Cyber Dragon Infinity, so we can negate spell and traps and monster effects, Utopia the Lightning, so we can attack over pretty much anything, Pleiades, so we can interrupt our opponent's plays, Durandal, so we can just to mess with our opponent's plays. Cyber Dragon Nova, so we can make Infinity. Dark Rebellion, so we can attack over stuff. Utopia, so we can make Utopia the Lightning 101, so we can get rid of cards. Castel, so we can get rid of cards. And Dagger's Emerald to recycle. Abyss Dweller for the Burning Abyss matchup. Really dislike that Burning Abyss is still a thing. Don't understand why it's still a thing. And then, of course, we can make Phantom Knight of Breaksword with our 2 Kozmo Sword Troopers and pop a Kozmo monster, such as our machines, and pop one in for your opponent's monsters, so definitely something to make. And then Leviair, the Sea Dragon, that we can make and summon out any of our Kozmo monsters that are level 4 or lower, or any of your opponent's level 4 or lower banished monsters to your side of the field. So, yeah, so there's definitely some utility. Leviair is probably the one you make the most because it's just so easy to make. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.